What's going on, everybody? I appreciate all of you hanging out, waiting on the stream to start. For those of you catching replay, though, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on all notifications when we do these live chats. You too can take part right along with everybody in the crowd. So these are my favorite live streams to do. That is no secret. I have my dear friend Justin Copeland on with me today, and we are talking about a brand that gets a lot of love, little controversy with how they're priced. I got to admit they're expensive, but there's some good stuff from the house of Tom Ford, and I know Justin has quite the selection that he's a big fan of, and we decided to pick 5 each, and we're going to talk about them and tell you why. These are our favorites of what we own in our collection, and it's going to be quite the diverse 10. We didn't talk about it, but I have a feeling there's only maybe one that's going to be some overlap between the two of us here, so this should be pretty fun. And as far as what I'm wearing today on Thursdays, as my man Sacktastic Voyage is the name of the profile. As he likes to say, on Thursdays, we wear Spice Bomb Night Vision Eau de Toilette. I did promise him I would wear this today with him, so here we are. For those of you unfamiliar, one that unfairly got shit on when it came out because it has an Invictus opening. It smells like Invictus mixed with Spice Bomb. I like Invictus. I like Spice Bomb. So I like this. I never understood why people hate it. It's a good fragrance, performs well, smells good. Compliments matter to you. Not that it's a magnet for me, but I mean, it's happened a few times over the years, you know. It's a good fragrance. Unfairly crapped on is what we'll say about that. So let's get caught up in the comments real quick, and then we'll bring my guy on. He is hanging out backstage. We'll do the usual. Around 10 minutes or so, we'll dive into our topic. Let me find a decent spot real quick because we're behind on the comments pretty quick. For those of you just getting here, though, hit that thumbs up for me if you don't mind. It does indeed help. TAC, how are you, sir? Fougère d'Argent. I have a feeling we might see that one here today. Good evening, gentlemen. Fougère d'Argent, Scent of the Nights, Dior Eau Sauvage. You, sir, have exquisite fougère-ish taste, is what I'll say to that. Hope you two have a nice live stream. That's the plan. Will, good to see you. Catch as much as you can for your flight takes off. Scent of the Day, Jasada Ambassador. Hidden Gems is in the house. On my way to the gym, wearing Brioni Intense Eau de Parfum. We're both fans of that one. Hope you have a great workout, Gems. Manny, good to see you, sir. Vibrant Vetiver Delight. Dwayne says Oud Wood Intense is number 1. It's hilarious. His profile name is Dwayne, and it's a picture of The Rock. That's hilarious. Kevin, good to see you, sir. Wearing Mahir Legacy. Kaylin, how are you? Pacific Chill. 90 to 95 in Arizona already. With Arizona, I'm not surprised, my man. We've been hitting around 90 degrees a couple of days. Kix Griffey. Ross JC, Scent of the Day. LeBeau Eau de Toilette. Kix Griffey approved. FWO Wolfpack for life. That's what I'm talking about, my man. Mr. M.A. Styles, Bentley Azzurra, underappreciated these days. AS, good to see you, sir. Wearing Salvatore Ferragomo's F Black. Joel, good to see you. Wearing a 2021 batch of Valentino Uomo. Fortunately, I can only stay for a couple of minutes, but I'll watch the rest after. No worries. Climatic, always a pleasure, sir. Pop Fritz is in the house wearing Vetiver Patchouli from Montal. Good to see you, sir. Juan Ochoa, LV Imagination. A lot of Louis Vuitton love in the chat today. Zara Wanted by Night. Dan, not the man, wearing Legend Blue, the new Legend Blue from Mont Blanc. Haven't tried that one yet. Le Beau Le Parfum. This sample's growing on me. There's no Hawass ice here, so leaning to Zanzibar for a hot summer over regular Hawass. A bunch of good stuff to me. Tom Ford, Mer Mystérieux Eau de Parfum. So we're getting a little bit of Tom Ford love, I'm assuming in honor of the topic here today. Speaking of my man, Sacktastic Voyage, here he is, wearing Spice Bomb Night Vision EDT as planned. I'm sure you saw him delivering on the promise, wearing mine as well. Kellen, happy birthday to you, sir. Thank you for joining us for your birthday. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, guys. Randy, I see you. Good to see you, my man. Polar Red Extreme. Noel, I see you as well, sir. I apologize. I'm having to skip around a little bit. I want to get to the bottom and go ahead and bring the guest of honor on. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. You love him. If you don't love him, I don't know what's wrong with you. Mr. Justin Copeland. How are you, sir?
Great.
Gotta lead in with a good intro. I mean, come on.
It's like, wow. Yeah, I'm honored. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I'm thrilled to have you on, man. It's been a little while since we did something. I love when we get together. And for those of you that don't know, next week we'll be on Justin's channel. I don't know what the topic's going to be yet, but you never know with us two. Sometimes we're talking fragrance. Sometimes we're stirring the pot. It's always must watch in this community, in my opinion, at least.
Yep, totally.
So what do you
Good to see everyone. Thanks for joining in the chat. Those of you guys wearing some Tom Ford, showing up with the memo. Appreciate that. If you're wearing something else, that's cool too. Wear what you love. But great to see you all.
Got another one wearing Noir EDP. By far my favorite Tom Ford scent. Tom Ford Soleil Brûlant, I believe is how you say that. I've never tried that one. Amber and Nice for the cruise. So apparently he's going on a cruise.
That one's
So
good.
we got a few. We got scent of the day, Tobacco Oud Intense, my first love from the brand.
Rare.
Favorites for Kalen's Oud Wood Parfum and Azure Lime. I haven't tried either of those yet.
Yeah, I've tried Oud Wood Parfum, not Azure Lime. I've always wanted to try
Tell
that
me
one.
about Oud Wood Parfum.
I only tried it one time, and it was a few years ago. And honestly, the only thing
I just came out.
Oh, what am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of Oud Wood Intense.
You're thinking the Intense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
haven't tried the
came out
Parfum.
like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I have not tried that yet.
Okay, you had me confused. I was like, really?
It's like, yeah, I tried it like 3 years ago at the factory, man. It was a
re-release. Hey, they're good for that though. Maybe I just missed something.
No.
I mean, there's been 3 releases of Oud Minérale.
Exactly.
So you never know.
There's been several ins and outs with them. We'll put it.
Costa
We'll
Azzurra's come out more than once. You know, Beau de Jour and so on.
Exactly.
So what are you wearing today, my man?
I'm wearing a weird one, not Tom Ford. Just giving this its first wear. This is from an indie perfumer named Maya Njai, and she's based out of London. This is called Voyeur Verde, and I tried her fragrances years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago. She sent me a couple samples, really enjoyed them, and kind of just got away from the brand for a bit. And so she reached out recently and sent over a couple. And this is one that came out maybe 3 years ago. It's nice, man. It is a green fragrance as per the name. It's like cypress. It's like green woods, leather, maybe a little bit of incense in there, but it all kind of congeals together. It's hard to really dissect it. It's like this soft, like green, woody, warm, supple presence. That's the best way I could describe it. It's just, again, all kind of one accord.
I have to ask, does it have any relatability to something like Brevito della Caccia? Because some of the accords and the way you described it kind of strike me as maybe a softer type of profile like that.
I could see it being not exactly, because Brevito has a sharpness to it with the tea, the herbalness of that mate.
Intensely green, yeah.
Yes, with the juniper berry. Those just give it some prickly edges to it that make it pretty sharp and maybe even a little fresher. This isn't necessarily fresh. It's like, if you kind of remove the sharpness, maybe, but no real sweetness in there. It's, green woods, I could say it has in common, but that's probably about it.
Makes sense.
But yeah,
so
it's unique. It's like kind of familiar, but also I don't really know exactly what to compare it to.
So while I have you, for anybody that hasn't seen his video today, he's doing a little bit of series of things he wishes A and B would do. He already did the audience and the viewers. Today he did reviewers, and I loved every moment of it. I commented on it as well. My comment said, key phrase in this video is, not every dollar that is offered to us should we accept. And that is very, very true. And I was so glad that you brought that up.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that was, as I told you last time with the previous video, kind of a scary video to put out, because I'm just like, I've been sitting with these thoughts. As soon as you brought
the sexuality up, and I was like, oh, shit.
I had to, man. I'm like, come on, with this. The elephant is massive.
And it's extremely honest of you, And I commend you for that. And that goes back to the constant praise I give you about how original you are in this space and how much I appreciate you. And I hope everyone watching does as well. If you haven't seen his video from today, it is a must watch if you want a great critical topic. Justin's got you covered. He's the channel for that.
Thank you. Truly, man. Your support has always meant so much. And it's always interesting approaching putting out a video that is not the norm. And the norm in general across the YouTube space, myself included, for fragrance, amounts to videos that give recommendations. It's like most people are clicking on videos where it's like, okay, let me check out some new fragrances I haven't checked out, or let me like have my taste reinforced, knowing that they like stuff I already have, whatever it may be. So
both of those occur regularly.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that is the general state of content. So it's always kind of like I always have to. I'm always a little careful when I'm like, okay, I'm going to put out a video. I feel like I have a lot I want to say, but I don't necessarily have any recommendations to offer. And what I found over the years is that, and I totally get this, a majority of people are not really down for that. People, they want to come to you for a particular purpose. It's like, all right, I want some new fragrances. That's why I'm coming. And then a small minority are like, yeah, fragrances are great, but let's talk about what's beneath the surface too. And so that's, I've just been doing this dance between those two things. And it's been very revelatory. I've just learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about the audience. And I don't know what this is amounting to, but it's always an interesting experiment and exercise to put something out that's kind of off the path, so to speak.
Well, there's always a need for the type of discussion you bring in videos like that. And not everybody could necessarily convey their thoughts the way you do, to where it doesn't come across as an attack to either side. Because like I said, guys, he did one for the audience, for you guys, and he did one about us, and it's very fair and very open, very honest, and a lot of truth happened in both of those. Very, very true. So I commend you on doing that. Soft live stream clap for Justin.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
So with that said, would you like to start us off with our topic today? For those of you that need a quick refresher, we picked 5 of our personal favorites from our respectable little Tom Ford collections. And we're going to discuss them and why we like them so much. And some of these you may not agree with, but again, it's just the ones we enjoy the most.
For sure. The first thing I want to say real quick is, and this is maybe irrelevant, but it just came to mind, so I'll just say it. As reviewers, Ross and I, and many of our colleagues, as you guys already know, we receive fragrances as PR, as gifts, as whatever. And as you guys might already know as well, the mainstream / designer market, whatever you want to call it, is kind of a different beast. More and more, I'm noticing them noticing us, but it mainly through these third-party marketing agencies
PR
they might
firms,
partner with, for sure. But at the end of the day, it's still the niche brands that, these very, limited distribution, whatever it may be, these brands that don't invest in advertising, that reach out to us to basically fulfill that role. That being said, if you see a reviewer with a bunch of Tom Ford fragrances, chances are we bought them all because Tom Ford is not handing out fragrances right now. At least they haven't.
Estee Lauder has never contacted me.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, that being said, I will contradict myself a little bit and say one fragrance I'm looking at here was technically sent to me by one of these PR agencies, but that was just recently. It's the first time I've ever had anyone. I've gotten an email with the subject Tom Ford with the offer of a fragrance. I'm like, this can't be real. This has got to be fake.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, all that to say,
email address is emailing me.
Yeah. All that to say, when Ross and I and other, again, our colleagues buy Tom Ford, we're spending that money, we're investing just like you guys, because this is really the only way we're going to get them. Anyway, all that to say, I'll jump into my number 5. We just kind of talked about this fragrance, which is funny. So we'll get it out of the way. And that's Oud Minérale. And, it's tough to choose a top 5, especially when you have more than 5, of course. It's really tough. What is the top 5? Well, the margin between 5 and 6 is like this. So this is 5. But Oud Minérale is, as I've said, is a fragrance that I first tried it maybe 2018. I got myself a decant. I filmed a first impressions video, which is still on my channel. And in the video, I basically said, this stuff is special, but I can't quite appreciate it yet. But I have a feeling I'll like it more later. So they discontinued it. And then it came out again in this form as an Ulta exclusive. I pretty much scooped it up right at that time because it had been a few years. There you go. And it was only a 30 ml bottle with this little kind of frosted feel. Real special. Yeah. And then they pulled that. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's the end of Oud Minérale.
I mean, I might as well show it. It's in my 5. Yeah. This is the one I was saying we would have overlap.
Exactly. Yeah. And this
I
this
figured we would
particular
both
bottle
pick
was
this.
sent to me by some PR
Well,
brand.
lucky you, I bought this.
Yeah. I was getting ready to buy it until I happened to go through my inbox. I'm like, wait, what is
As
this?
soon as it hit fragrance buy, I was like, you know what? I just want to see if there's any difference because I kind of hoard the 30 ml because I wanted
Yeah.
more than 30 ml because 50 mls were going hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
6, 7. I was like, I'm not doing that. So I was like, okay, I got the 2. I can talk about it. They're the same.
Pretty
Nothing
much.
different here, guys.
Yeah.
So basically, I have 80 ml.
Yes.
So this
More
is
than
basically
enough.
both our number 5s. I'm just throw mine out there and let him
Awesome.
keep doing his thing.
Oh yeah. That makes total sense that we'd have this overlap. I know we've talked about it several times in the past, and I did a video comparing the two as soon as I got this one, and I didn't realize until later that I needed to let this sit for a bit, maybe a couple weeks, and because at the time there were some differences when I did my first impressions. Now, and I said this in a video I think I'm editing right now that'll be out probably tomorrow. They're pretty much the same, like pretty much the same. No real noticeable difference. So nothing to worry about there. But that being said, this is not going to be for everybody. You got to like a smoky aquatic. It's like smoky wood
I like
floating
to
in the
say it's
ocean.
like it's a weird dynamic of I get waterlogged and dry rotted
Definitely.
at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah. It's weird how something can be dry and wet at the same time. Totally. And they accomplished it here. It is fresh, but it's not like sunny day fresh. Not like let's go hit the beach. Let me go play some volleyball under the sun. Like there's others I would choose over this. This is a little bit more mysterious, maybe a little bit more for the evening. It's an aquatic that you can dress up. You can wear it almost formally if you wanted to, just
Very much
because
so.
it is so like specific in its personality. But yeah, that's number 5, I guess, for both of us there.
Yeah, I was glad you started with it, so I was like, we could go ahead and get the overlap over. I'll just chime in a little bit here and there and let you take the lead on it. This actually worked out perfectly because, again, I figured this was the one overlap. I have a feeling my final 4 and his final 4 are totally 8 different fragrances. So I'm glad we started here because we both have an appreciation for this. And like he said, this is not for everyone. I couldn't agree more with the settings and situations. Can you wear this casually? Of course you can. But the situation that suits this best is something where, Oxford or better type of thing, warmer weather, where maybe you still want some of that aquatic freshness that's just easygoing, but you want something more interesting. You want to be the most interesting man in the room type of thing. And this is the cherry on top on completing that wardrobe, that look, that vibe that you're going for. This is one of those fragrances that can add to that if that's what you're going for.
Definitely.
Fair enough?
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I mean, you can wear whatever you want, guys. If you want to just like on a Saturday afternoon, hanging, chilling, whatever, cool, great. But I think it's like a fragrance can be good in one situation and even better in a different situation. So you just pick and choose what you want there. What is going on in this chat?
I was wondering this too. What is it?
TV?
House TV spamming the words like Spike.
What is this?
I've never seen this profile before.
Like
It's clearly been
like
subscribed for
Spike.
at least 2 weeks.
This is ridiculous. Did they wait till this moment?
Tyler's handling it. I see on YouTube. He's deleting them.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
What is? I feel completely unimpacted by whatever this is.
House TV. I wish you were capable to like for each one of those comments. That'd be great. So yeah, sure.
Like
there we
Spike.
are.
Amazing.
So why don't you go ahead and lead us into number 4 because we kind of both did number 5 together.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, it was a joint effort there. Number 4, I'm going to give it a spray here just to get this opening. And this is one along with one other one in my lineup that is going to be hard to find because they're discontinued. Oh, yeah, Enrique, totally.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I'm getting this in the air.
Uh-oh.
Man. Okay.
So clearly it is one of his favorites.
This is definitely top 5 material here. This one is dark fruit. So that might give it away for some folks. Dark fruit, dark, woody, spicy fruit, kind of sexy, kind of elegant. Plum Japonais.
Yep.
Again, kind of hard, maybe not even kind of hard to find. I'd say it's hard to find, at least for a reasonable price. I haven't looked anytime soon. I feel like I bought
It's a community
this.
darling, though. That's for
It
sure.
is. Yeah. I feel like I bought this from a friend. There was a guy who was a part of my Patreon group a couple years ago named Ben, and he was a Tom Ford maniac and had all these discontinueds, all these backup bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of was like, I have too much. I'm going to start getting rid of stuff. You guys want anything? So I bought like 3 different bottles at 3 different times off of him, this being one of them, and definitely got a much better price than the resale value that you see today. Anyway, yeah, man, it is plum, but it's just like surrounded by spicy, dark woods. I don't remember exactly what the woods are.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe a little oody in a way, but not overtly oody. It's just like, it's you smell and you're just like, like that's the word I would use, is just it's just that's
more of a sound effect. If you're making sound effects from fragrances, it's good shit. As long as it's not you're in good shape.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm wondering if anybody else has tried it. I'm seeing.
Well, Randy said it's his number 1.
Wow, that's my good number 1. I see Miami Live Life is saying the outstanding scent boozy plum. I can see a little bit of booziness.
Kareem said that's one he's always wanted to try but never got to.
This is one I would hope they'd bring this back, because Tom Ford, better than anybody, I'd say more than anybody, is just like, and I respect it so much, just like vaulting stuff and then bringing it back. And I mean, it seems like anything's fair game, because we've seen so many
when doing that, though.
Exactly.
Pretty good move.
Yeah. So this is
James. Neither of us have tried it.
Yeah, haven't tried that one. But that's Plum Japonais. I don't remember. Have you smelled that one yet?
I have.
Okay.
I would like to get a bottle, but it's hard to make myself pull the trigger on that kind of money on 50 mLs. You know.
Yeah.
Like, it was a hard pill to swallow when I dropped $340 after tax on Pacific Chill. And it was only because of the experience that I was given when I was at Louis Vuitton. I was treated like I was somebody, and they were great. Me and Louis Vuitton. Come on.
No, I mean,
it was phenomenal. So it was like, man, if I was ever going to buy a fragrance from Louis, I need to do it here today from these people. They really made me feel, a good experience. So that's why I get it. I don't regret it. I love Pacific Chill. Mm-hmm. I talked about it in today's video, but yeah, it's hard. Once we start eclipsing $200, I really got to want it. Which I do. I do spend on, like, I bought a long discontinued old batch of Essence de Parfum from the Le Male line. I spent $220 on the Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male fragrance recently.
Essence de Parfum.
Is that the old purple juice? It's the leather.
Oh, yeah.
The old batch, the purple juice.
Yes.
That's real good.
Oh, man. I remember getting a decant of that when it came out. And I really enjoyed it, but for some reason I never got the bottle. And then
I started with a large decant of the second version that was the light blue juice, and it's really good, but it doesn't have all the leather. So I blindly went into purple juice, and it was expensive. And I was like, man, I love the reformulated when people bitch about, so I'm bound to love it. And boy, I see what people are talking about. Yeah, that's one of the few times I overpaid on a discontinued designer, and I was happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it has time to sit, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's very old. That's like 2016, 2015 bottle, whatever it is, old.
Whew. Special.
Yeah.
What you got for number 4?
So you went with something a little darker, a little heavier. So I'm going to go with one that I was chomping at the bit to get this at a certain point, and it is this gentleman's fault. I talked about it in today's video. I can't wait to wear it again this summer. I'm such a seasonal creature that I only want to. I bought it in the spring last year, so I only wore it a little bit last summer. But I'll be diving into Mandarino di Amalfi Aqua this summer. So the eau de toilettes don't get a lot of love because people are performance whores.
Yes.
And I get it. I understand people, especially when you start spending 150 plus on 50 ml fragrances. Bro, I want it to last all day. Bro, everybody's got to smell. Bro, I need those compliments. Bro. I get it. For me, it's all about a wearing experience and how does it make me feel when I smell it on myself. And for me, this is such a mood boosting, uplifting, light blue, like the color of the bottle's fitting. I would consider this a light blue, slightly watery aquatic fragrance that's based around obviously mandarin orange and other citruses, but that's clearly the star of the show. Some white florals, very fresh, just invigorating and lively. 3, 4, maybe 5 hours if you're lucky, but really that 3 to 4 hour range, hour projection at best.
Yeah.
Just refresh. It's one of those out and about hot day type of fragrances.
Yeah.
I'm eagerly looking forward to wearing this one. Of the Eau de Toilettes, this is my favorite. And I've never smelled the other version of it. And honestly, I feel like it would just be too redundant to even bother with, because I have such a specific function for this one. So I just kind of roll with that. So, and this man is the reason I bought this. He really sold me on this one. I said in the live stream, I think 2 days ago, EQ was in the chat and we were talking about his live stream, and I was talking about how influential, and I bought a lot of fragrances on hit, based off of his merit. And then I said your name was, but nobody sold me on more fragrances. My God, if he likes it, I can take it to the bank. And here's a prime example of that. This is a beautiful fragrance. Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, I'd love to, man. That's a fragrance that I'm trying to remember exactly the first time I tried it. It was years ago. I feel like it was when it was still available, and I may have tried it in a store, and I was blown away. I think I took home a sample from wherever I was, and I'm just like, this stuff is so beautiful.
Oh, God,
and then I'm pretty sure it's discontinued.
I think all of the aqua flankers are actually.
It's interesting. Yeah, you're right. And so I was scouring the internet for a bottle of this for at least a year. I ended up finding mine on eBay. I think I paid like $90.
I paid like $110 on eBay. I bought a lot of these on
Got
eBay.
Some good
that
deals
was the way
there.
to go.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll be honest, I think a couple years ago I gave it some good love. Last summer I didn't reach for it too much, but I've definitely been thinking about it as we've been moving through spring. So I'll be giving it some sprays this summer.
It has that something special to just make you go, wow, when you smell it the first time. Like I keep going back to it's wow every time I go and sniff it.
Yeah, it's the juicy mandarin orange, but it is kind of salty, fresh, aquatic in a way.
Fresh water.
Yeah.
Bright white florals.
There might be some
little bit of a green element.
I believe there's some mint in there.
I think it's spearmint, actually.
Yeah, I think you're right. Allegedly, I remember seeing a note breakdown. Allegedly, in the base, there's some like animalic notes, like civet or something, but I don't
hiding from me.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. Maybe some amber or something, but it's beautiful. It's so well done.
Not a wildly copied profile either. Like it doesn't strike me as anything else I have or have smelled. It's pretty unique in that way.
Yeah, agreed. Real special.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, performance aside, like smells
and that's
great.
The thing. It's short-lived, but man, you have to. I understand that we're in the minority of people that are okay with weaker performance for a certain experience.
Yeah.
And particular scent profile. And I'm not knocking anybody. Like I said, performance whores. It's funny because that's everything. What's the performance, bro? Every day of my life, I get asked that.
Performance followed by the word bro every time.
Bro every time. And I understand it for people. I get it. When you're not doing what we're doing with it, especially like we're reviewing it, we're looking at it through a different lens than most people that are consumers and viewers and audience members specifically. So I get where you guys are coming from. I'm not knocking it. I love great performance on a lot of fragrances. I've said many times, as long as I get 6 to 8 hours out of something, I'm happy. That's great performance for me because I don't need more than that. Anything less than that, I plan my day accordingly.
Yeah.
If I'm wanting to wear that fragrance, it has to be functional for the day's tasks. So
yes, exactly.
Limits things like this, but I have function for this in the summertime.
Yeah, totally. I've had to soften my stance around the performance obsession, and I feel a little bit more mature about it today than I was even like 6 months, a year ago. The way I see it, it's like it's function. You don't wear a t-shirt in the middle of a blizzard and get mad that it's not keeping you warm. What the heck? I spent $300 on this Ed Hardy
but it's
t-shirt.
Versace.
Yes, exactly. It's like that's not the right tool for the job. So yeah, if you work long hours and you need a fragrance that lasts, then wear one that lasts. And if there's one that doesn't, then that's not the one, and that's okay. And if you don't want any of those, then that's okay too. But it doesn't mean they're bad fragrances just because they don't serve the 12-hour shift function. Anyway.
No, you're absolutely right. Just one more thing to touch on and we'll move on. It's everybody has a different function in their lifestyle. Just Just like you dress accordingly, like he gave an example. You spray accordingly. You choose your scent profile accordingly. It's all the same thing.
Mhm.
What works for my daily life might not work for your daily life, might not work for Justin's daily life. It's all what it is.
Yep.
So what do you have for us next, my man?
Number
Very
three. Yeah, number three. This one, again, also a little hard to find. Maybe more than a little. This one, I also got from a subscriber. So I've been kind of taking the back channels with some of these discontinued fragrances.
Sometimes you have to.
I'll
He's getting
admit,
blown away by his choices.
man, when I first heard about this fragrance 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was afraid to try it because of the things I heard about it. You probably know. I heard people
starts
saying
with
like,
a T and the second word starts with an O.
perhaps. Yeah, that I heard, people saying, "Oh my gosh, I sprayed this and people thought I stunk," and I'm just like,
I haven't tried it yet. I've been dying to try it.
Man, I cannot believe that. We got to change that.
Yeah, actually, I think I have a decant somebody sent me, and it's in a pile somewhere, and I haven't sprayed it. I actually do think I have a decant. I think Jeremiah sent it to me, actually.
Find it. Yeah, you guessed it. Tobacco Oud.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. I don't reach for this very often. This is one that I am kind of savoring it on one hand. Like it's 50 mil. I have plenty left. Like it's not going anywhere. But also it is a very particular scent personality. This is one of those fragrances. I say this all the time. Maybe it's a little played out, but this is just how I live. And I feel like if I'm not wearing this right, it's wearing me. It's like it's picking me up and spraying me on its neck and walking out the house. I got to be in the mood for this, and I got to wear it right. And for me, that is like I'm dressing kind of like the bottle. Like I'm wearing darker colors, something with a collar, most likely, something where I feel like dapper, but also kind of like edgy.
You know that post you made of that last stage you were on next to the guy playing the piano, that looked like the setting for that kind of fragrance.
Yes, for sure.
Yesterday in your stories or day before?
Yeah, totally.
That particular gig looked like, based on what I saw in this, that would fit that.
For sure. Yeah, I think I actually wore Second Soul that night, if I think about it. But this would have been yeah, but this would be perfect for that as well. It's this boozy, dark, spicy, woody, dry fragrance. There's more of a sweetness here than I was expecting. That's what I was afraid of, was that there'd be no sweetness. It would just be stinky, dry woods. But I'm surprised. I think it's the booze. Maybe it's whiskey that really contributes this nice sweetness that in the air, man, sweetness in the air is just, it's very attractive. So yeah, if you spray like 8, 9 times, you're probably not going to like it, but
30 sprays, bro. Don't be a sissy.
Exactly.
Come on.
Apparently I'm a sissy. I get reminded of that daily.
Me too.
3 to 5 sprays of this, perfect. It's going to last me longer than I need it to. This is probably easy 8+ hour fragrance. So if I'm spraying it in the evening where I might only need it for 4 hours, I will have it for more. So nothing to worry about there. I've been hearing rumors of this coming back into the signature line for a couple years now.
I thought that's what this was going to be.
Okay.
I thought that was next. That was the rumor. And then this came. I was like, oh, I ain't mad at it. I'll grab a 50 ml,
Yeah,
but
totally.
I do hope that comes, because if that hits the signature line, I am getting a 50 ml.
They would serve themselves right if they brought that in, because just thinking very surface level, I don't know if they have a fragrance quite like this that they're offering in terms of like this sweet, warm, boozy woods with spices. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I'd like to see it. Oh, appreciate that, Randy.
That's amazing.
That's my favorite part about it.
Error, because we got a triple type from Randy. I'm deleting 2 of them. That should happen sometimes. We were just
for sure.
I doubt he hurried up and typed the exact same sentence 3 times in rapid succession. So
we know House TV did, though.
Yeah, House TV definitely. It was probably click, copy, paste.
Yes.
Copy, paste. So with this, It was mentioned earlier. Somebody said it's their favorite. It's the best Tom Ford. This is a for lifer for me when I updated my designers last year. And if I update it again this year, it's staying. I love all three. I have 3 of the 4 versions that have ever been released this fragrance. I don't have the private blend one. I think it's ridiculous. I don't need to get that. The signature line EDP is the same, but Costa Azzurra Parfum is one of the best, most unique wood-based blues I've ever smelled. I'm such a fan of this. Crazy longevity, not overwhelmingly strong, but present. That's the sweet spot for me. Give me the longevity, be present, stay in the realm of me being able to smell myself easy, but I'm not obnoxious to those around me. I'm not going to have my wife saying my fragrance is too strong when we're in the car going somewhere. You know, this is the sweet spot for me with performance. And I get green elements. I get citrus. I do get a little bit of sea salty aquatic, even though they don't list it in the notes, but this oak wood really lends itself to be a great backbone for this scent profile. I'm a huge fan of the DNA as a whole. I love the 3. I have the EDP, the Parfum, and the Aqua.
Nice.
And I love all of them. But if I had to just pick one, usually I'm a Parfum flanker kind of guy when it comes to designers, and Tom Ford is no different. That's why I'm eager to try Oud Wood Parfum. I have a feeling I'll love it because they wear closer. They're richer. They're usually more refined. That's the same thing going on with this DNA. This is a beautiful fragrance. And again, it's, you know, shit catches on fire and I can only save what I can fit in my arms. I'm trying to grab this. I like it that much.
Yeah.
So,
man, that is a DNA I have not spent much time with. I don't have any of them. I know I've smelled maybe the Parfum, maybe the original one in stores at a Tom Ford counter. I can't remember. I do remember it standing out as something very different as far as an aquatic goes. I just remember being like, oh, I was not
it's a very
expecting
green,
that.
woody aquatic. Still have aquatic elements. Coastal, like the name. It's a coastal kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. So I need to revisit it.
Fragrance, you know?
I need to come back to that line. I know
so Roy
a lot
wants
of people
to know
like
what you think about Bohemian Lime. He was messaging me asking me about that earlier as well. He fell in love with this fragrance. He just tried it.
To be honest with you, that is one I've been wanting to try from the house. I haven't tried Bohemian Lime yet. I think I've almost blind bought it several times. And so I haven't tried it. Unfortunately, I can't speak about it, but I've heard great things since it came out, at least maybe a few years ago. Have you tried it, Ross?
I had the decant right here. I must have put it in the box. I have. It didn't like blow me away. Like I wouldn't take it over Purple Suede. I wouldn't take it over Pacific Rock Moss. I wouldn't take it over Ingenious Ginger at all. Like if I was picking one of their fresher scents, Ingenious Ginger for sure. Just the brightness, just so beautiful. It is a really good fragrance, but it didn't grab me where it was like, I have to get it. Now, 50 ml comes across for the right price. Sure, it is good enough to own for me, but it's not so good to me that it's like, I have to have it.
Okay.
It's a very situational thing where I may or may not ever get it. I'm okay if I don't, but sure, it'd be nice to have. I have function. I have use for it. I do enjoy it. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm kind of 50-50. I don't need it. I don't feel like I need it. I mean, clearly, I don't need a fragrance. As far as the want isn't as strong for it, I guess would be the way to put it.
That makes sense. Yeah, I still want to try it at some point, but yeah, I don't think I'll be blind by it anytime soon. I think that urge has already passed. It was like the tide just kind of went out. I'm like, okay, we'll see if I try it.
So James, scroll to about the 10-minute mark. That's the first thing we talked about.
Yes, indeed.
That was both of our number 5. That was where we started. That was the one overlap.
Our past selves will answer your question.
For sure. So what do you have for us next? I figure you would have the heavier stuff and I would have the fresher stuff because I like a lot of their EDTs. I had a feeling this is how it would go. Kind of a yin and yang 10.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even think about it that way, but that is great.
I fully anticipated it. That's why I was like, Tom Ford would be good for the two of us to do together.
Yeah, great observation. So this one, I'm just going to reveal it and then I'll talk about it. It might be a surprise.
Real quick before you do that, that's not a surprise. But Randy's lying to people saying my number 1's Lost Cherry and yours is Bitter Peach. And if we don't say that, we're lying. I tried to catch you before you pulled the bottle up.
Oh, I didn't mean to give a thumbs down. That was weird how that happened. I don't know if you saw that it popped up on my screen.
That's
Lost Cherry, I actually do like. I don't know if I would ever buy it. It's very specific. But there's something about it I like the smell of, but I don't know if I'd want to smell it on me. Bitter peach, don't like it. Just didn't smell good to me.
But I interrupted your pick. That's actually what I put in the thumbnail over Justin's
Yes.
shoulder because I know he's a big fougere does.
Oh yeah. So this bounces back and forth between 1 and 2. This is currently number 2. Again, the margin is like you can't even see it.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, well, if you put it in the thumbnail, and I'm like, if I show up with this as my number 1, which it kind of wasn't already, but if I did, it's like that's just kind of anticlimactic. Like, yay, we knew what his favorite was from the time I clicked on the video.
I mean, I knew it was such a shoe-in. That's why I put it in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, you knew this would be here. I would be lying if it wasn't here. But right now, by a very minuscule margin, it's number 2. But currently, man, as far as fougères go, I think this has just taken the top spot since I first got it. This was actually also from a subscriber. I think it is. I don't know if it's officially discontinued. I can't remember.
Never know with Tom Ford's private blends.
Yeah, I know it's still out there. I still get messages of people saying they're picking up bottles, but I don't know if Tom Ford is still distributing it themselves. Beau de Jour definitely had the spot for my favorite fougere from the house until I got this. Beau de Jour is just like right here, not even below it, just kind of like right here. This stuff is so good. It is not honestly the most versatile fougere. What makes it a little different, it's warmer. It's not as fresh soapy. There's a lavender presence, but it is like it's bottom heavy. It's more of like this cozy, warm, sweet, smooth wood with a cleanliness to it. But it's, rather than fresh at the top, slightly warm at the bottom, it's like flipped, at least in terms of intensity. So it's a bottom heavy scent. It's one that with heat, I think could get a little intense. So I honestly have just avoided giving full sprays on a hot day. And there's just other profiles I'd want to wear for that. But man, it's so good. It's simple. It's like a simplified fougere, but at the same time, it somehow has its own personality. It kind of stands out. And I didn't expect it to have this impact on me. It immediately became a 10 when I first smelled it. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. It's so good. And I can't even really explain why. It just affects me. So great fougere.
So one I'd like to give a little quick honorable mention to, because I still haven't gotten around to getting a bottle. I did get Molinard's Lavande to supplement, and it is close. Lavande is good, but Lavender Extreme is the best lavender heavy fragrance I've ever smelled. I love Tom Ford Lavender Extreme. And the longer I wait, the more expensive it gets. So it may never happen. I still have some left in my 5 ml decant, but
yeah,
I wanted to throw that out there. When you were talking about bottom heavy, and that's a bottom heavy. That can be cloying. Like how you were saying you wouldn't want to spray that one in the summer. Oh God, I couldn't imagine spraying lavender. Cloying lavender sometimes. This is one of those. This will choke out kind of lavender. But just magical. Wow. If I was to pick one lavender-based fragrance to just go after for any and everything I'm not wearing a t-shirt for, it would be Lavender Extreme. I like it that much. It's a very powdery lavender. Magnificent. Hopefully one day I add that 50 ml, that fingerprint magnet chrome bottle to my collection.
You just got to handle it with white gloves every time you pick it up.
Yeah,
but it's beautiful. I tried a decant years back. I don't know where that decant is now, but I remember really enjoying that. So
Lavande gets close. It's got a little bit of added earthiness that I don't get from Lavender Extreme. That's the biggest difference. You get Lavande for like $50 for 75.
Yeah.
It really is a good alternative, but it doesn't scratch the itch for me for Lavender Extreme. It's different enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I haven't heard about that connection between those fragrances. I didn't know that
Lavande came out first. That's been around a long time.
Okay. Oh, I'm not surprised about that. Molinard's an old house, so that makes sense.
All right, this one may not surprise anybody because I'm a big ombre leather guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love the profile. I've got a lot of niche fragrances that smell of Tuscan leather, that smell of ombre leather.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get enough of the leather. But for me, I prefer the Parfum. I like
Mm.
the added freshness to it. I think this is a higher level of versatility where
Okay.
I adore the black bottle,
Mm-hmm.
but the violet leaf gives it this ozonic, slightly aquatic freshness that, again, like I said, adds more of a casual feel. It can still dress up just as well as ombre leather, but it
Mm.
gives it enough of a casual feel that I think I can wear this in more situations. I can wear it confidently when the weather warms up more than I
Mm-hmm.
can with the other. I don't feel like it's going to be too funky or too cloying like the other one. Like you wear that in the heat, might not be the best wearing experience for you, let alone those around you.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just beautiful. I'm so glad to have added this to my collection. I held off for a long time. I had decants of both versions, and I waited and waited, and then I bought this from an eBay seller, and they accidentally sent me the other one. And I said, "Well, I'm
Oh,
not going to return it. I'll just buy this from somebody else now because they don't know their head from their ass, apparently."
yeah.
Uh, Big white label, big difference. Um, but it was
It's
like that's
ombre
the
leather.
universe telling me I need the other one too. So I was like, all right,
Okay.
that one too. But this one in particular, man, this is, I'm not going to say my absolute favorite leather fragrance, but of leather dominant accords, it's up there. It's one
Mm.
of my 3 or 4 favorites that I own in my collection. I got a lot of leather fragrances, and you name the leather blend, I have a fragrance for that type of leather profile because I'm
Mm-hmm.
really into the leathers. Um, and this is special to me. And I know not everybody will agree, and it's not because it has orris. That's not what is actually the defining characteristic that draws me in the most. It's the added freshness with the base DNA is what does it
Mm.
for me. And performance for me is actually quite good.
Wow.
Yeah. Ombre
That's
leather,
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, I've only tried that one time in a Sephora around the time it came out. I don't remember exactly what it smelled like to me, at least on paper, but I do remember liking it more than I expected to. So I've been wanting to revisit it for that reason.
It's fresher and it's more floral
Mm.
because you had jasmine in the previous version. Here you have the jasmine and orris, and it's not
Mm.
super powdery. It's not a creamy orris butter. It's not an earthy iris, but it does offer a little bit of powder to it. And if
Okay.
anything, it kind of blends well with the jasmine. It just has this fresh floral feel, soft powder. And then the
Hmm.
violet leaf, I think, is the biggest defining characteristic that kind of twisted it a bit because of
Mm.
the freshness it brought.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta try that again before they discontinue it. I'm sure
Yeah,
that'll happen.
the inevitable, because I'm sure it's not
Yes.
as popular as the black bottle. I'm positive of that.
Man, yeah, the EDP has been a phenomenon. And it's just so funny to see that because when it first came out in 2016, like no one was really talking about it.
It
And
was
then it
way more expensive
disappeared.
though too, because now you can get 50 mLs of the EDP around $100, depending on where you look, and $95 I've seen it,
Wow.
110 in that range for a Tom Ford fragrance that's highly wearable and different from everything at the Macy's counter.
Mm,
It's a great buy. You know,
mm. Yes, I gotta come back to that one. So
I'm even talking about the EDP.
oh
This one
yeah,
is a little
totally.
bit more. Yeah, I'm talking about why
Totally.
the phenomenon of the EDP. It just makes sense for me.
Yeah, it just won all these awards online and people, yeah, it's hyped to death. And I doubt it's all that different from the 2016.
No, I highly doubt it because that's been kind of the thing when the signature line version comes out. Is you're reaching if you're finding differences.
Yeah. So it's just
You're
funny
just
how
trying to find something is what I've learned from it.
packaging and marketing just changes the game. It's basically the same product. And it's like, oh wait, okay, how about this? But well, oh my God, yeah.
It's
Best
like we went
fragrance
as
ever.
far as we could with the really expensive twist. So here we're going to rebottle it, and it's going to be a little bit less expensive, just a little bit. Now
Yes.
you want it, right?
Yes, totally. Oh man, it's funny, but it works.
Yeah.
Um,
Patrick said, "Imagine if they did ombre leather elixir. I'd buy it."
Ombre leather elixir. I mean, yeah, elixir is the current wave. Everything's gonna get an elixir. We'll see.
But maybe not. Maybe Blue de Chanel never gets one. I'm still holding on to hope. I would think that would be the best of the bunch.
I would be so surprised. And honestly, if they were going to do it, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, because the elixir wave has been a thing for a few years now.
3 years.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Sauvage Elixir was like 2021, I think. So we're coming up on 3 years. I think it was like September-ish, 21. I remember buying it as soon as it came out. So Chanel's just sitting back there, just like, what you guys, I mean, and I'm happy. I'm like, if you guys are just sitting back working on something else, and that's why,
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Great.
I just need a new men's release from Chanel.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. I mean, they've been kind of they came out with Dior Homme, the new versions, and they hit them back to back, 20 and 21, just bam. And then they're like,
somebody mentioned what if there was a new Dior Homme flanker coming to me this week in the stream? And I was like, I'd definitely be here for it, even if it's. And they didn't mention a Dior Homme Elixir or anything, but to put a new Dior Homme out, I mean, they have Francis Kirkjohn. What the hell?
They sure do.
I know he's been working on a Sauvage flanker. Rumor has.
Yeah, I've been hearing things about that. Well, do you remember
2 years now?
Do you remember what it's prospected to be? I can't remember.
It was supposed to be like a Blanc flanker or something like that. Was the rumor bill in the pictures I had saw a while back, but nothing's come of it.
I haven't seen any photos. I thought I remember hearing someone say sport or something, which I'm like, please no.
By all means, Francis Kirkjohn, give me some Dior flankers. Yeah. I don't care. Just you do it. I'm here for it. I want to see what he comes up with. He's a brilliant perfumer.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but I'm super curious about Chanel. Like, what's it gonna be? Like Rouge de Chanel? Sure.
I'm sure it would. Chanel doesn't put out garbage.
Yeah, it's like, we spent 14 years on this DNA, and now we have something new, and it's called Vert de Chanel. It's like, and this will be another 14 years of milking this cow. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. We'll try it, whatever it is, when it comes out.
So what is your number one, since Fougère d'Argent is not?
Yeah, number one. This, I'm going to give it a spray. This guy is readily available. You can go to your nearest department store, any of you, and try it. And man, this is one.
Everyone.
Yeah, they're all so damn good, man. This is one that I like more and more with time. I did a first impressions video on this when I got it. It was a total blind buy. And I remember in that video, I was just above lukewarm about it. I remember I'm like, this is good, but it's not really standing out as something different to me. It's not blowing me away, but it's good. And it was, and that was
no idea what this is, by the way, guys. I'm just as curious as y'all.
I put it on my hand in that video, and I was sitting there, as we always do, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Not more than a week later, I gave it a wearing, and I'm like, I was sorely mistaken. This is great, and I've only liked it more. Grace loves it when I wear it.
Shout outs to Mrs. Copeland.
Yes, indeed. Ébène Fumé.
I didn't know that was the pick, but I am not surprised that you love it.
Ébène Fumé.
I have a sample of it, and that is one I would like to get a bottle. That is a pricey 50 ml.
It is. I feel like I bought it from Fragrance By maybe at some point, and it was
that's where
still
I was
kind of pricey,
like 212 or something like that.
I think I just kind of went for it. Man, this is like, it's smoky Palo Santo, and Palo Santo wood, unless you've smelled it, it's kind of like it's a light wood. It's like maybe close to sandalwood ish, not smooth, creamy, but it's a lighter wood. When it burns, it doesn't burn super dark and smoky. It almost burns incensey in a way, and that's mixed with some spice. But so it's smoky wood, but there's this like ambery resin, like shrouded by the smoke. It's like in there. It's just kind of like this
when you
light.
Look at that bottle though with the juice cut, it just looks like, oh, this is going to be an impressive fragrance.
It's gorgeous. I think there's a little bit of violet leaf.
Looks like it,
Yeah, there's a little bit of violet leaf when you first spray it, adds this slight freshness, almost Dior Fahrenheit ish. It just makes it more welcoming. And then the way it's simple, but the way it transitions is just so elegant. It definitely smells. It's for a part of a collection. I don't remember what they call the collection, but there's I think Bois Marocain. There's
The
this
Mer
one,
Mysterieux.
and then the new Mer Mysterieux. And honestly, they all kind of smell the same with slight differences. Like I think it'd be ridiculous to have all of them unless you're just out there to catch them all. You're just Ash Ketchum out there. Just I'm going to get every fragrance. Sure. But they're all kind of the same. And if I had to choose one, I would probably choose this one. It's something that maybe similarly to Tobacco Oud, I'm gonna save it for more evening wear. I want to dress up to it to just like I want to respect the scent. It's like if I'm gonna put this on, I don't have to put on my best, but I'm gonna put on something a little bit more elevated, and it's strong. This is 12 hours plus, easy, almost obnoxious if you overspray even just by one. Like I think I did 5 sprays one time, and I was like, this was a mistake. Like I still like it, but never again. So never more than 4 from me.
Yeah, the
Maybe
last
3.
thing you wanted to get tired of what you're wearing.
Exactly. It'll last you till the next day. If it gets on your clothes, maybe months. Honestly, if that matters to you, then you don't have anything to worry about. You're going to get your money's worth with this one, more than likely. So I think it's stunning scent.
So shout outs to Fuck You.
Wow.
With the 199 super chat. No, sir, we did not discuss Tuscan leather. Ombre leather Parfum was the only of the leathers that were discussed here. We do both enjoy Tuscan leather,
definitely,
but not in the top 5. I don't even own Tuscan leather. He does. You have Tuscan leather, correct?
I have a 2015 bottle of Tuscan leather. It's a big it's 100 mil. And it's potent, almost too strong. So I wear it sparingly, but I've always loved that DNA. So much respect for it. Just the way it influenced the market is undeniable.
I have zero desire for it because Bacio Immortelle is very close to it. And
much more
quality,
wearable.
I would say, is superior.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So yeah, Bacio Immortelle, anytime I want it, that raspberry leather, spices, saffron, all that, just chef's kiss. Yeah,
so good and just really attractive in the air. Like I've gotten that's if I had to count my compliments, it's probably my most complimented Argos is that one and it's kind of not the most like mass appealing of them all.
You would think it would be Triumph of Bacchus.
Yeah, that or even like Danae,
yeah,
which is super easy to wear and very likable. But I think No, I'm thinking of Brevito as my most compliment, but Bacio is close second in that because it's a little bit of a.
I like to wear that at the weddings. Bacio.
Oh yeah, There's an elegance to it. There's a lot of interest to it, but at the same time, it's like kind of easy to understand for the average nose that just smells different. It's really nice.
Well, fuck you too, and I appreciate the super chat. Gotta love the name. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So that leaves just one.
Yes.
For me.
What you got? Top
and
of the
this
mountain.
is an unpopular opinion.
Great. Those are the best ones.
Because we've already discussed one of the fragrances in this DNA. I didn't think I was going to like this as much as I do because this is the one I wear the most.
Okay.
Where this is the one, gun to my head, I would take. In practice, this is the one I like to wear the most.
Okay.
And this is the one I have the big bottle of.
Wow.
Azzurra Aqua. Oh my God. So fresh. Just like we get the freshness here. Like I said, I'm a fan of these EDT Aqua flankers. Don't knock them until you try. And then the sad part is it's not easy for anybody to try them anymore. I believe all of them are discontinued. The Resort Collection, all of them. Oh, God. Oh, beautiful. I'm so glad I got 100 ml of this. This is a summertime stud for me because you intensify the freshness. So you lose some of that dense woody oak backbone of the Parfum. This is both sides of the spectrum, the EDP being in the middle. This is much more watery, aquatic. There's a myrtle note that kind of gives this floral green feel. The greens are enhanced here, but it's so much fresher. I'm actually going to give this a little. Man, even with the immediate smelling with the alcohol, that's why I didn't get close to it because of the alcohol, but so much more of a saltwater marine fragrance versus the Parfum that I spoke of earlier. This is more traditional aquatic blue. The color's very fitting. It's a very marine scent, but still has all of the beautiful elements that separates Costa Azzurra from the typical blue. Like it blends, it marries the two, typical blue plus Costa, what makes Costa Azzurra special at the same time. I kind of saved it for last because in practice, it's the Tom Ford. Even though I only wear it in the summer and I've only had it for a year and a half, it's the one I've reached for the most. It's the one with the biggest drop in juice level. I just love this fragrance. On a hunch, because I'd already had the EDP, on a hunch, I was like, this is getting scarce. I might want to get the bigger bottle of this one. And boy, was I right, because it's the one that I gravitate to more. Even though, again, I deem this more special, this is so many more situations, so much more versatile to me, so much more casual. Great in the high heat, daytime, out and about, but there's still that Tom Ford elegant appeal to it that you get, that you expect with Tom Ford fragrances. At least I expect with Tom Ford fragrances.
Totally.
So again, unpopular opinion, because I think I'm the only person maybe on the planet that would pick this as their number one Tom Ford fragrance.
Which is great, man, because I mean, fragrances like Oud Wood, Tuscan Leather, fantastic. If those are genuinely someone's absolute favorite, awesome. But it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be like one of 100,000 that has the same favorite as everyone else. And it's like, it's fine. It's fine. They're great. But when you find something off the beaten path that really speaks to you even more, that's a gift. I think that's even better. So I'm all about it.
Because I've got so many fragrances that are of the norm, of the standard, that are super popular, that I love, I enjoy, I wear often. Those are ones I gravitate to. But it's certain instances from certain houses where I know I'm in the vast minority with this being my favorite. And it's just special to me. Let's I'll kiss the bottle one more time. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I got to revisit that DNA. I got to get to know it better.
Sean Conley with $5 super chat. Have either of you tried London by Tom Ford? I have not.
I don't believe so. I feel like I've been this close to blind buying it a couple times, and then got to reading some reviews and saw quite a split. People are like, this is kind of funky, or this is hard to wear, this smells like an old man. I'm just like, maybe I won't blind buy this, but I'm super intrigued. I want to try it. I've heard great things about it. I know it's discontinued. I've heard it's very like distinguished smelling and whatnot. So
here's what it is. Cumin.
Yeah.
So
your favorite.
I have a feeling you would like it though.
I mean,
there's a particular fragrance line that's loaded with cumin that you're a big fan of.
Yes, indeed. I'm intrigued. I'm not going to blind buy it. If I can get myself a decant, I'll check it out. But
it is an interesting blend. It's pretty highly rated by a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's a standout. It's specific, which means it's going to be polarizing.
Yeah, for sure. I can see why it would be very smoky and polarized. Cumin, coffee, you have birch specifically with oud and frankincense. It's an interesting blend. Spicy, woody, smoky, resinous, and animalic. I bet that's special occasion only.
Yeah.
It strikes me as that. Like, you're really stepping out, showstopper type of stuff, but not like, oh my God, you smell amazing. Conversation starter kind of thing.
Yeah, I want to try it. And I'd love to try that. Sounds great.
What a great question, Sean. I've never looked at the note breakdown before.
Yeah.
This one is, I'd like to try this too. Super situational from what I'm seeing here.
For sure. There's this UK reviewer. I don't think he's making videos anymore. I could not tell you his name. I remember seeing a video, his review of that 5 years ago or something, and really intrigued me because he was so passionate about it. And I was like, man, I got to try it. So need to come back around. Sounds like it'll be great.
So, Verboheme, I would like to try because I have the Resort Collection version. The Eau de Toilette, like I said, I like the Eau de Toilettes. Yeah. That's one I enjoy the freshness, and a lot of those EDTs are based around jasmine. That's one of the reasons I like the fresh white floral aspect for
Yeah.
these EDT Tom Fords. So if you don't like jasmine, you probably won't like a lot of these because that is kind of a central focus to these eau de toilettes from Tom Ford.
Okay. Yeah, Vert Bohem. Let me refresh myself.
Mhm.
There it is. Okay. Violet leaf, galbanum, honeysuckle. It looks so interesting.
Yeah. Eau de Ver Boheme or the
Oh,
or
so
regular
you,
Ver
yeah,
Boheme.
I was looking at the regular one.
I have the O version, the
You have
green
this
bottle.
one.
Yes, I have that one.
What a
And the
beautiful
honeysuckle does
bottle.
stand out. It does lean a little feminine, but it's actually quite vegetal and green. The notes won't lead you to believe it.
Okay.
The bottle color is actually correct to the profile. It's much more grassy green.
Nice.
Vegetal, honestly. It's a vegetal smell.
It looks so interesting. Wow.
But the private blend version I've never tried, which apparently is much more of an intensive fragrance. Ver Boheme.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Have you tried the I think someone asked about it earlier, the original Tom Ford for men?
No, nor the
Okay.
extreme. I've never tried either of those. Have you?
Yeah, I remember having a decan of the original Tom Ford for men. It's great. From what I remember, it is this kind of fresh, spicy, but also warm, like ginger, woody, fragrance. But overall, it smells like this almost like typical 40-year-old distinguished guy. Like it's like you got an uncle and you hug him, and then he has the scent. It's subtle. It's not like screaming off his skin. It just smells. I don't know, has a sophistication to it, but it's not like trying to get your attention. Really,
Well, his whole
stuff.
thing was bringing back classic masculine profiles.
Yes,
that was the original like mission statement of what he was doing with fragrance. So I'm not surprised to hear that. Yeah. That's why a lot of his profiles are inherently masculine, timeless stuff, your Beau de Jours and stuff like that.
Totally. So much respect for that. I do remember trying what's the name of that clone brand? Why am I forgetting the name? They come in those little round bottles with the silver caps. They make like Dossier. Dossier has a version of.
They do have a version,
and I remember it was quite good for the original For Men.
I've tried that one. I just don't remember it.
I remember being surprised by it. I'm like, this smells exactly like I remember the original smelling. I think I have the bottle somewhere, but it's a great profile. I haven't tried the extreme, but I'd like to.
So let's see. Where was one? There was one that caught my eye I wanted to bring up. What was it? Here's an interesting one from AJ. Anyone going to scoop up Neroli Portofino Parfum? I would love to try it. My wife is a sucker for Neroli Portofino. She loves it. She's got so many interpretations and twists of Neroli Portofino. It's unreal. But man, are those Parfum 50 mLs crazy expensive. That's why I haven't tried Oud Wood Parfum. 2 ml probably costs $30.
Seriously.
I'm probably exaggerating on that, but yeah, they are pricey.
It's so interesting. I completely forgot about the Parfum. Is that on Parfumo?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, bring it up if you can. And I'm curious how different it is from the Forte, because it seems like they could have just rebottled the Forte.
I don't see it on here. How is it not?
I couldn't find it on Fragrantica.
It might not be out yet. Yeah, I'll pull those assholes up.
Yeah, because I don't think I've heard anything about it.
I don't see the Parfum on here either.
Is it actually happening?
Well, I saw iFragrance put it. Yeah, it's not on Fragrantica either. So I guess it's not officially out yet, because I saw iFragrance posted it recently in their stories.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it was an actual Tom Ford ad that they had posted. So I guess it's not out yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, I could go to iFragrance.
Yeah, let's check that. I wonder if it's up there on the site.
Go to directory.
Yeah, because this is Now that I think about it, this is news to me. I don't think I really knew about this.
It's the first you're hearing of it?
I believe so. I was like, did I hear about this or did I not? That's like, I don't know if I did.
Let's see.
Because they are really just moving forward with the parfums.
Azure Lime.
Azure Lime?
Mm-hmm.
That's why people keep asking
we got
about
asked about earlier.
So did they bring it back? Because I could have sworn that was a discontinued.
It's been out for a little bit now.
How did I miss this?
So they don't have the full release of Neroli Portofino Parfum yet. So it was just a tease post, I guess.
Okay. Azure Lime. Yeah, Azure Lime came out 2010. And they're bringing it back?
Yeah, he brought it back in 2023.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Wild mint, lime infusion.
That's
South
why
African
people kept asking about it, man. I'm just behind.
Yeah, because I want to try it. It looks good.
I'm just behind. I had no idea. Yeah, I want to try
came
that.
Out, I think like mid to late 2023 was when it
totally launched. Missed it. Yeah, I'm a big lime fan.
Me too.
So I want to check that out. With mint, oh yeah, violet leaf. I'm gonna add that to the list. Add it to the list.
Well, Malcolm, I appreciate the compliment, but neither of us are perfumers. Neither of us are perfumers. We're just enthusiasts that happen to review.
Yes.
That's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, some people might call us like fragrance experts. I don't even know if I would say that. Like, no, we're not experts.
I'm not an aficionado nor an expert, nor do I claim to be. That's why I say enthusiast, because I love this stuff and I've had a lot of experience with it because of that love for it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. It's just consistency over time.
Yeah, Coach Open Road's my favorite, Roy. Of the Coach fragrances, yeah, that's easily the best daily wear of the bunch to me. Not as crazy synthetic as the others. YSL's trying to do the opposite at the moment of Top Forward, selling you female perfumes with pour homme after the name, so you buy it and think it's edgy. LOL myself. So many people keep saying it's just Libra. Libra's my wife's favorite fragrance. She's got like a quarter of her bottle yet. I'm super familiar with that. And it's like 50-50 on the relatability. Like myself isn't the exact same fragrance.
I mean, and myself was
some tie-in, people run with it, boy.
Oh, yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, they specifically marketed myself as unisex, which is kind of unusual for a designer house. So
it's based around Orange Blossom. So
yeah, I remember trying it and I was like, huh. But I haven't put it on skin yet. I think you're a fan of it from what I remember.
Yeah, I do like it. Grew on me. I didn't understand the hate. At first, it was like, it's okay. And then after I wore it a little bit, it's okay. It's actually pretty good. It grows on you. Enrique, I have tried Grey Vetiver Parfum. Last time I was at Nathan's home before I moved. And it dries down to the EDP. I've had many opportunities to grab the 50 or 100 ml at a decent price from Fragrance Buy, and I just haven't pulled the trigger because honestly, just get the Eau de Parfum. It's more affordable. They dry down the same. There's not a big performance difference that I noticed in the little bit of experience I have with it. I don't think it's necessarily worth it. There's not like a big richness difference or anything like that.
Yeah, I remember I took home a sample from like a Bloomingdale's or something and felt the same way. I'm like, it smells great because I like the DNA, but it's not much different.
So. Starts off like, oh, this is different. And 30 minutes later, it's the same fragrance.
Yeah.
So let's see. The dossier really hits and really misses. Yeah, they're 50-50. They have some good stuff, and then it's like,
Yeah, some stuff. It's like, I remember.
He said that's okay. You two are just great.
Oh, thank you, Malcolm. Appreciate that. No, I remember getting Dossier's version of Baccarat, and I showed it to Grace, and she was like, "This is disgusting."
And I think it's actually pretty good.
I mean, This was a few years ago. I don't know if they've updated it since then.
I don't think they have necessarily.
No. Sorry.
It's actually a pretty good twist.
I misspoke. I did not mean to say Baccarat. I meant to say Le Labo Rose 31.
Okay, yeah, because their Baccarat clones actually pretty good.
I misspoke because we have Rose 31. I remember getting the dossier, and she was like, "No, I was like, all right, great. We'll stick with the original.
Your number one supporter and fan, Sir Siaj.
Sir
has
Siaj, good to
arrived.
see you.
I'm a big lime fan. Quote, have you tried your sample of Essential Parfums Mon Vetiver, Justin? Love the lime in the opening of that stuff.
I'm trying to remember if I did. I guess I would remember. I don't think I have. I have the decant. Obviously, you know that. I have my drawer, so I need to go back through and check it out. So I haven't done that. My bad.
According to IBG, aficionado is an enthusiast. Well, if that is indeed true, then I learned something today because I looked at aficionado as more towards an expert. That's why I say I'm not an aficionado. He may be right. I don't know. I've never looked up the definition.
Well, aficionado sounds like a word that we borrowed from another language, and maybe when they translate it, translates the same. I don't know. I don't know the etymology. Got to look that up.
Stick with the word enthusiast. Been using it for years. Let me just stick with that.
For sure.
Let's see. Entro Grantica. Love that he said that. Raja Vetiver Parfum Cologne is the second reminds me of to Coach Open. What? Raja Parfum's Vetiver Parfum Cologne does not smell like Coach Open Road.
I haven't smelled Coach Open Road, but is that
Coach
a Vetiver
Open
fragrance?
Road smells like a pepper-heavy Dolce & Gabbana K. That's the scent profile family.
That's very much not Vetiver Parfum.
That's
cologne.
Very much not Vetiver Parfum Cologne. I don't know.
There is Vetiver.
Whomever voted that, I'm sure that's how it smells to them, but I can say I very much disagree. Everybody smells different things.
You got to be careful when it comes to these ratings, because you got to always look at the ratio and look at the just how high both numbers are. It says 7, 4, 5 against. That's not a big enough sample size to truly say, like, I think it really might smell like it. If it was like 300 for and like even like 400 against, it's like, that's a lot of people saying that it does. Interesting. So it's too small, I think, to really say. K is number one.
But yeah, I'm not surprised there.
Yeah.
But look, to those 7 people, it very much could smell like that. I'm not saying they're wrong, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying I disagree.
It is what it is. Yeah.
That cut and dry.
Totally fair.
Myself smells like a nice shampoo. Too feminine. That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. The Bishop has arrived. $10 super chat. Stupid late to some of my favorites in this space. And he messaged me about this earlier today, too. So I thought for sure he would have been here from the start.
What's up, Jared? Good to see you.
These brothers are the real deal. And I hope everyone is subscribed to them both. Real brotherhood, real love of fragrances. Appreciate
you, man. Everything.
Yeah. Jared goes above and beyond. You guys don't even know.
He sure does.
Just hopping on. What's up, my 2 favorite frag heads wearing Aqua Cinziali Blue? Has my heart.
Speaking to your heart, yeah.
Kara said, I'm thinking about that Issy fragrance you had in your video today. So that's Fusion d'Issey. Justin, have you ever tried that one?
Yes. Is that like coconut, right?
Yep.
I remember coconut that one kind of standing out to me as something a little special. It is kind of beachy, but
it's only like $38.
Yeah, as far as a designer goes, it's special. Yeah, it's good stuff. And I know they made a flanker.
The Extreme. It's warmer. It's warmer. Okay. It's more wood dominant. It's better. You can still wear it during the day, but if you wanted, like, you're on vacation summer evening, or not even necessarily vacation, but summer evenings, you're going to eat on the patio, something like that. You still want kind of that tropic vibe, but something denser, warmer. The Extreme's perfect for that. They're both good. They're redundant, but they're not so redundant if you use them in the right situation.
Got it.
Yeah, they're really good.
I got to revisit. I've almost bought the original Fusion a few times. I just haven't.
They're both good. They're both really good. Salutes from the boot. 100% panel. 100 to the panel and chat. Fashion reaches all types of forums. Good for culture. And thanks for the recommendations. Well, Wendell, we sure appreciate you for coming and hang with us.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Have you tried Habat Rouge Privé?
No, I've had so many people asking me, and I've wanted to. I just
we got the new parfums that we're going to need to check out. Vetiver, Habat Rouge, and
L'Homme Ideal. Yeah, really curious. I saw some real surface level assessments from Sebastian saying that he was kind of disappointed with L'Homme Ideal and with maybe with the Vetiver. I can't remember, but maybe like, I don't know. It was just like in his story or something. I have avoided all videos about it.
Yeah, I haven't looked at anybody's opinions or anything on that.
Yeah.
I definitely plan on going into L'Homme Ideal Parfum blindly because I have all of them but the Platine Privé.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge fan.
Mm-hmm.
Even the quirky ones, cool and sport, I think have merit and charm, and I think are very underappreciated. So I'm going
Was
to
it
go.
you who said sport is kind of like soggy almonds or something like that? But it's
It's
still
an
good.
aquatic fragrance based around almonds. It's weird. It's weird, but it's
Yeah.
charming. It doesn't smell bad at all. I think
Yeah.
it's quite good and very unique. It's the most unique one in the line.
I think you did have me try it, and it was better
I
than
had
I
you
thought
try
it
that
would
in
be.
cool.
Yeah, I have a decan of Cool, and I've given it some wear here and there. It's nice. Doesn't replace cologne, but it's nice.
So here's one from Kara. Which Dolce & Gabbana light blue y'all think is the sweetest?
The sweetest.
I don't know how much light blue flanker experience you have. I know you have some.
Some. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I
I
mean,
have a lot of them.
yeah, if we're talking about all the little offshoot little like diving in, I don't remember the names of them, the Tuscany, there's so many of them. Just like,
Living Stromboli and
yes, like you look up and there's just
Volcano.
so many.
I forgot which Volcano one. That's two that I don't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know they have, the sun, maybe the sun.
Sun's good. That's the coconut. That's light blue plus sunscreen.
Yeah, I imagine that one's pretty sweet. I mean, it is pretty sweet.
Really.
Huh?
That one's not really all that sweet. If I had to pick one, I would say probably Love is Love for that apple gelato note that it's got.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think that's
I haven't tried that.
One.
I mean, the only experience I truly have, I used to own both the original and the Intense. Neither of them I would call sweet. The Intense is sweeter than the original, but I don't have much experience beyond that. I have tried a sample of Forever. Is that what it's called? The grapefruit one. Totally different, but good stuff. Man, it is so easy to underestimate how many freaking flankers that line has.
Yeah.
So many. I mean, they're doing it every year pretty much. So
well, they haven't announced one yet. I'm waiting. Come on. I love them. I pick them up. I love them. I love the
Summer Vibes last year, right?
Summer Vibes last year. The previous year was Italian Love. Before that was Forever.
That's right.
So for me, an interesting fact about the one I mentioned, I think would be the sweetest. That came out right before lockdown. So that was almost instantly to rack stores. I picked it up like a month after it released at Ross Dress for Less for $30.
Wow.
For the big bottle.
Yeah, that's crazy what
stores were closed and everything. And rack, remember you had to put a mask on, stand in line, only be 20 people in there.
Yes.
God, what a terrible
time. Yeah.
God,
for sure.
That's over.
Yes, indeed.
But that was a fun fact. I'll always think of that fun time in human history when I smell that fragrance, because that's how I got it. Quick and cheap.
That's amazing. Yeah, great timing. Wow.
Ombre leather is great, but Zaharoff's signature leather tobacco is the best leather fragrance out there. It's definitely got that wow factor and wildly potent. This man has fussed me for doing 3 sprays before.
I just remember when we were at the headquarters and you
2 days in a row I did 3 sprays. Did you spray 3 times again?
You were filling up that large room. That's a large room.
Big banquet room,
filling it up.
3 sprays.
Like, dude, how is this the only thing I'm smelling right now? This is a large room. This stuff is dangerous.
So that trip was when you introduced me to Vanilla Oud too.
It sure was, yeah.
That was when I fell in love with Virtus Vanilla Oud. My God. A lot of cool shit happened as far as fragrance on that particular trip to Chicago.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff. Yes, indeed.
Let me find a good spot. I would think with your sub counts and fragrance creations, you two can be experts. Don't downplay your experience and meaning in the community. I appreciate the compliment, Randy.
Totally appreciate that, Randy. The one thing I would respond to that with is, if we're going to use the term expert, that means by nature we would have to use it on a spectrum, because you can't put me and Ross next to Alberto Marias and call all 3 of us experts. That would just be a disservice.
That's
to,
insulting to Alberto
yeah,
Marias.
or any other renowned perfumer who has actually spent decades, doesn't have to be decades, but years, thousands of hours studying the craft of like how perfumes are made from the inside out, from the bottom up, who can sit down with raw ingredients and create something that did not previously exist. That is very different from, you know, getting the finished product and spending a lot of time with it and a lot of time with the, you know, different ones and being able to use the language to dissect it. Like there is a certain level of mastery, I guess, to what we do. But again, if we're going to use that word, it has to be on a spectrum. And even then, I don't feel great about it because it's like, who am I next to Cecile? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm honored that she, you know, has reached out and said, I like the way you describe my perfumes. I'm like, really?
The queen. I
What?
call her the queen.
You know, because it's like if you put me in front of an organ of all the, they're like, all right, Justin, you have a few days. Like, let's see what you got. I'd be like, this is gonna suck, but here we go, guys. Are you sure you want this? Yeah, it's just interesting. Anyway, I totally appreciate it. I don't mean to deflect your compliment. We truly appreciate that, but
Yes, for sure.
you know, there are levels. I think there are levels to this, so we just want to pay respect where it's due.
I couldn't agree more because, yeah, in no way, shape, or form will I ever consider myself an expert. Just passionate. And I try to have as much experiences as I can and absorb as much knowledge as I can. And I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I get some shit wrong sometimes and just try to learn from it. And that's all it is. It's just a passion, sharing a passion. And when you're passionate about something, you want to know as much as you can about it. At least for myself, that's how I am. I want to absorb as much as I can.
Totally. Yeah. So we appreciate it at the end of the day. That means a lot.
Let's see let's find a good one because we're almost an hour and a half. We still got a decent crowd. I know Dedrick's going to be live in a little bit with Jared. Kyla just brought that up. So that's literally in a few minutes because Dedrick does everything off Eastern time. He's an hour ahead of me in Jacksonville. So I don't want to split the crowd on him too much.
Yeah. No,
so let's see if we can find a couple more and we'll wrap it up. The Nigerian giant Omos has
Omos.
Good to see you, Jordan.
Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here.
So Randy said, you need to try Habit Rouge Privé like you need to have it, and wow.
The sentiment is there.
Totally your
yes,
style.
I need to try it for sure. Hope to do so.
Wendell says, I laugh a little when people say sin of the day. Half the time I wonder how your significant other lets you leave the house. Y'all calling out some bangers.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a thing. That's how we start the live streams. What are you guys wearing today? Here's what I'm wearing.
Yeah, people are like, oh, I'm wearing Virtus Vanilla Oud today. No big deal. It's like, damn. All right.
So let me skip down a little bit. My apologies. So here we go. TAC. Have you tried fragrances made by other YouTubers? What's your opinion on the ones you tried? Very limited. Very limited. Outside of our creations, I've tried both of Mega Dave's collaborations with Dua, those originals. Chris's Fragmental, his Smolder with Aaron Terrence Hughes is phenomenal. Yeah,
phenomenal fragrance.
So I actually got my bottle from Mega Dave that I mentioned. He didn't care for it.
Oh, man.
So I got his 50 ml from him. It was discontinued. And I was so glad to get it. That clean skin accord with tobacco and musk and smoky. Such a unique blend.
So beautiful.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But as far as the Novitus fragrances and stuff, I've never smelled a single one. I haven't tried any of Ashton's fragrances. I haven't tried Michelle's fragrance. I would like to try it. Trying to think who else. I mean, I know I'm leaving some people out. A couple of Omar's fragrances I have. That's pretty good work.
Yeah, that's right.
Adrian, he's got something good going there.
Yeah, I've tried one of his.
It's right here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice bottle.
Very uniform.
I would say I've tried a few, more than a handful. And the two that stick out to me the most are what you said, Smolder and Gravitas.
I have tried the first two.
Gravitas is a beautiful representation of the Fougere. So good. It's really, it's remarkable, honestly.
That should be like creamy patchouli.
Yeah. It is so good. To me, it checks all the boxes for what you might be looking for in a high quality fragrance. It's all there. It might be a little bit too sophisticated for some folks. It has a maturity to it,
Yeah,
but
I was going to use that word too, maturity.
yeah, it's so well done. So that's one of my absolute favorites for sure.
Bon Viveur, I actually prefer.
That one is beautiful as well.
Lemongrass in that. It's the mature man's freshie.
Yeah, a little bit of gin, watermelon. I don't get much of the watermelon, but it's crisp.
I get a lot of lemongrass. It's
yeah,
really
definitely. Good. Yeah, it's really nice for sure. I saw Sir Siaj had left a pretty lengthy question, as he often does.
How on earth do you decide what to sample and when? What does it take for you to put a scent to the front of the queue? That's an interesting question. Do you have an answer to lead us off with, or would you like me to take the lead?
If you have an idea already in mind, you're welcome.
It's very in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's very in the moment for me. It's all about emotion with me. Do I get excited when I see a note breakdown or the name of a fragrance, or it's a brand that I trust and I have a lot of relatability to some of their previous work? So it's all about emotion with me. That's how something makes its way to the front of the list rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically the most simple way I can explain myself.
Yeah. It's tough because we, for lack of a better term, we are bombarded in the best way with recommendations daily in our comments, to the point where it's very easy to become kind of numb or kind of just almost not apathetic, but you just like almost don't even see them, especially if it's something you don't recognize. When you just see it in words, it's like, oh, have you tried like Mongiglio's, Dark Horse Rider or something? And I'm like, I've never heard of any of those words in this order. Nothing is connecting in my brain. It's very subconscious, and I'll just kind of see it and scroll past it, or I'll like it, or I'll say, no, I haven't tried it, and I'll move on. If I have no association, just in word form, I will rarely be like, oh, no, I haven't tried that, but let me check it out. Honestly, it's just how it works. We're just going through so much every day, so much coming at us. So in order for it to catch my eye, there's got to be something associative about it. It's got to be from a brand that I already know. Maybe it's a brand that's not talked about much, but I have a couple that I love. I talk about it myself. Maybe it's a flanker to a fragrance I already have and enjoy, in which case it'll catch my eye, even just in word form. But it's tough. I'd say most of them, I'm sorry to say, most of them will fall through the cracks in terms of people say, have you tried this? Have you tried that? I'm not even really trying to take note of all of them. Now, if someone is persistent, they say, hey, man, I asked you about this. Have you tried it? Have you tried it? Have you tried it? And I see them over and over. I'm like, all right, let me add it to the list. So maybe then it'll have a chance. But great question.
That was a great question. Yeah, Jordan's a big fan of Second Soul. He did a TikTok about his scent of the day with Second Soul.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. I'm so glad you enjoy it. It's my heart in a bottle.
Forgot about Atrium fragrance. No, I didn't. I literally showed Mr. Majestic.
he mentioned it. It was on screen.
He might have looked away during that time.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's one I like that we could both answer for sure. Are there any Argos fragrances that you both hold in high regard, and for which season?
Oh, yeah.
There are. For sure.
There are. Geez.
I've got two that I'm going to give as an example. You want to start us off?
Sure. I will start with, I love Brivido Delicaccia. It's kind of an oddball one from the house. It was one of my first loves in terms of, just one of them. I wouldn't say it's my number one, but it's one of my first loves. And that is one I will pretty much wear it anytime outside of the summer. I can wear it casually or a little bit more dressed up. It's a little odd. Again, it's this sharp green, smoky wood, juniper berry, little herbal.
You get a lot of leather in it too.
A lot of leather down there as well. Birch wood, a little bit. There's a little sweetness, just a touch of sweetness in there that I love on the skin as it dries. And I think that's what really kind of hooked me to it. And I've gotten, again, that's like my most complimented one, so to speak, which is so odd. And the second one I would probably go with.
Seasons. I was about to say compliments. He was asking seasons for that one as well, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, I mentioned it. I said I pretty much wear it anytime outside of the
Okay,
summer.
I just didn't hear you then. My bad.
That's all right.
I was
Yeah,
reading about it.
it's not a heat fragrance for me. I think Christian has said that you could
That's his
pull it
favorite.
off. Yeah, he said it's his favorite, and he said he wore it to like a wedding in the summertime. I'm like, I don't know
I
about
wouldn't want to
that,
do that.
but sure. Um, Beyond that, Triumph of Bacchus. You just look at the juice and you're like,
Before you go further, X straight
yeah.
or EDP?
I still haven't tried the X straight.
What? Really?
Yeah. I haven't talked to Christian in a minute. I remember there was
He's
talks of
slacking. I
him.
talked to him a couple days ago. I bought a bottle of Birth of Venus for my member giveaway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while. And I think he was going to try to send it over.
He's
And he
in
just
France right now.
okay. I figured he was. I know he was in Vietnam or
Yeah, I
something
texted him a
recently.
couple days ago. I was like, "Hey man,
Okay.
the brother get a discount on buying a bottle of Birth of Venus."
Yeah, but yeah, so I still have to try the X straight. I don't know anything about it, which is so silly. But I love the OG, boozy, tobacco, rich, fruity, saffron, spice, just like succulent, truly. So, and that one is fall and winter for me. Mostly evening, but you could get away daytime just fine, I think.
So Birth of Venus.
That one is really taking the cake for you.
Oh man.
That's
I didn't
beautiful.
know I was going to like it as much. It's the freshest from the house to me.
Okay.
The fruits, the citrus, but it's still at its core. I get Adonis Awakens in there as well. The
For
rose,
sure.
the Mysore sandalwood.
Some
Lot of
rose,
what's
maybe.
great about Adonis. It's almost like a fresh flanker to Adonis Awakens.
Adonis is also beautiful.
It really is.
Venus the one that's almost like the way I remember it was like almost salty aquatic chocolate in a way with rose or something.
It has dark chocolate, sea salt, rose, peach, other citruses.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's marketed for women.
Yeah.
But as you know, as someone that enjoys Parfum and Palace Athene, that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
All three of the women's specific releases are not super feminine. They're perfectly unisex fragrances.
They're multifaceted. You know, they're going to smell different on different skin. So you might have a different experience as a man versus like your significant other. If she wears it, it might smell different on you. You never know.
But yeah, Birth of Venus for me is very special. It's one that in cooler weather, when you want something fresher but still interesting, you have the density, you have the performance, but it's not so overwhelmingly dense and heavy that you can't get away with it in high heat. Like I said, it comes across as the freshest from the house thus far to me. It really grew. Of all his most recent releases, I didn't think that was going to be the one that I would reach for the most, that would captivate me the most. And then, of course, I got to go Triumph of Bacchus as well. But here's where I got to go the X straight. And it's not because of increased richness and performance. It's because the saffron comes out more on me. It's actually spicier on me. That's the difference. As I've gone back to it, I get more spice out of it than I do out of the original. So there is enough of a difference. I mean, redundancy on a different level here. I mean, it's not so different, but it's the same formula. And I actually talked to Christian about this on the live stream and privately. It's the same formula. He literally just increased the oil concentration. He did not change the formula and reblend it. But on my skin, the saffron comes out more. Still get the beautiful peach apple combo, all of the rum, the earthiness of the tobacco, the ambery sweet tones. It's still Triumph of Bacchus with added saffron for me.
Nice.
So it's amazing.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. I mean, it seems like it just gives it more texture because the original is so smooth. But it's like, it'd be nice to have a little bit more something to hold on to.
It is heavier and warmer.
Okay.
That's the two differences to me. It's heavier and warmer, and that's because there's more spice and much higher oil concentration. So
yes.
So I guess we'll take one more. Justin, I think you'd like Vetiver Imaginaire by Edenist.
I'm not familiar at all with that brand.
I haven't tried it. He tries some wild stuff. When he gets a little break from work, he hits the perfumeries when he's traveling.
See, that is a great thing. I need to do that more because that's how you can really discover some nice stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I've not heard of this brand.
In Saudi Arabia shows and everything, so he hits the perfumeries over there.
Okay.
He has a good old time.
There.
A world travel
right
fragrance
now.
head.
Got two great perfumers behind it. Okay. I'll keep this page up and I'll check it out.
Wendell,
Very
I
much as well
did
said.
not.
It's in the
I
moment.
haven't grabbed anything on sneakers in a while. Let's see. All right, let's see if I can find one more real good one.
Yeah, got a few minutes.
Let's see.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah,
Those of you who are still here.
We'll catch this one last, and then we'll go ahead and share. Yeah, I saw we lost a few. That's probably because I'm sure Dedrick started a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
I understand. I get it. All my moderators probably left because they're moderators for him too. They're probably like, let's go handle it.
Yeah.
So, Elv M, Free Time Videos, interesting avatar. Is there a fragrance that you love the most? Mine is Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, the sticker, the original formula, the old versions, but I don't have it. Hard to find. That it is. And the newer version is inherently fresher and watered down, as they like to call it. I do have the newer version. If you had to pick one, the hardest question we can be asked for what we do, somebody breaks in, puts the 9 to your head and says you get one fragrance, pick it now, or that's a wrap. Let's make it life or death, I guess. Put the pressure on.
First of all, I got questions. I'm like, dude, why is this your mission?
Right?
Like, who are you, bro?
Unlikely, right? Wildly unlikely.
Okay.
Let me
9 to the head.
Picture.
Yes. Window broken, 9 to the head.
Clock.
What's the one? Or that's a wrap, you said. Damn. That's so severe. Honestly, if I don't have time to think about it, I'm saying Second Soul. It's really that simple.
That's a good answer. That's a safe answer.
Yeah. I don't know how I would choose anything else and really just decide based on that or based on that. It's like, I know everything about Second Soul from the bottom up. The wearing experience is unlike anything else in my collection. If I had to live without it, I'd be upset. So I would go with that one.
I think if I put myself in the exact same scenario, I'm just going to grab Cedropoise and go.
Okay.
Pardon me. Mission accomplished.
Yes.
You have a great evening. Thank you for coming.
You can have the rest, as I'm sure you wanted.
Don't mind me. I'll just exit. I'll be leaving now.
That's a solid pick. It's like you can wear it anywhere, anytime.
And some people are probably thinking, why not Isola Blue? I thought that's a 10 because it's too far of a reach to draft. I'm usually in this chair. So in that situation, I gave us.
You got to think about the logistics.
Right over there. It's easier access.
Yes.
We can get this over with rather quickly. I'm good with that. I'll go with Cedropoise.
Yes. Logistically makes sense.
So on that note, yeah, that's a wrap.
Damn.
I could have been much more aggressive and vulgar, but
no, that's fine, man. I mean,
that.
Whoever this person is, like, God bless you, but damn, what?
Yeah.
All right.
So on that note, that odd way to end it, right? What a interesting way to do that. Justin, thank you for doing this with me, man. I always love when we get together and do anything, whether it's virtual, side by side, whatever the case. Any last words for the people before we shut it down?
No, it's always fun to just exchange ideas and taste and answer questions. Yeah, we've been doing this kind of format between the two of us for some time now and hasn't gotten old. There's always something new coming out of it. So we'll keep doing it. So we appreciate you guys for making it possible.
And I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you to everybody that gave super chats. Definitely go check out Dedrick Hicks Jr. He's live with the Bishop, Jared Miller. Wonderful human beings in FragCom. As far as content creators, Jared's an avid supporter of everyone. He's very generous. Just some great guys. If you want to continue your live stream fun, head over there. We will be live next Thursday on Justice. Yes. We haven't fully dove into what we're going to be discussing as far as the topic yet, but I'm sure we'll iron that out over the next several days.
Yep.
And so mark your calendars, put it in your Google calendars that you got to go to Justin's channel. And if for some reason you're not subscribed to Justin, normally I would say check out his content. If you like what you see, subscribe. Just subscribe. Just do it. You're going to like his content. I'm confident you're going to like his content. You wouldn't have stayed here if you didn't like either me, him, or both.
Sure.
So, yeah, he's tagged at the top of the video description. Just click that, head on over there. Watch today's video. It was a great critical topic, kind of pulling back the blinds and being critical of us, the reviewers, the content creators. That kind of stuff's needed, and he's the perfect man for it. And if you watch the video, you'll understand why. It's all about his delivery, his ideology behind it. The man's a unicorn in the space. Nobody's doing the content Justin's doing the way Justin does it. So,
man, I'm
that's
honored.
all I'll say about that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So with that said, make sure to like this stream before you guys leave. Check out today's videos from both channels. Head over to Dedrick if you're interested in continuing the live stream fun, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. I'll see you tomorrow for another live stream. Maybe not the same bat time, but the same bat channel.